Every neighborhood has that one family people look up to. The family that seems to have it all. The smiling parents, the well-behaved kids, the beautiful house with the white picket fence. In the Miller family's quiet suburban neighborhood, that's exactly how they were seen. Perfect, stable, safe. The kind of family that makes everyone else wonder how they do it. But late one rainy night, police sirens shattered that illusion forever. What they found inside the Miller home was so disturbing. It would shake the entire community to its core and prove that even the most perfect-looking families can be hiding the darkest of secrets. Start with a warm, cinematic view of a beautiful neighborhood at sunset, then slowly fade into flashing police lights and rain-soaked pavement, setting up the dark twist. Michael Miller was, by all accounts, a model neighbor. At 42 years old, he had worked his way up to a senior accountant position at a major finance firm in the city. He was the kind of man who gave you advice on your taxes over the fence, always polite, always calm. Laura, his 39-year-old wife, was a neighborhood social organizer, PTA volunteer, bake sale leader, and the friendly face who welcomed every new neighbor with cookies. Together they had 2 children, Ethan, 12, and Grace, 9. They were polite, well-dressed, and smart. Teachers raved about them. Neighbors called them storybook kids. The Miller house was the envy of the block. Fresh paint, flowers along the walkway, a flag that was always perfectly displayed on national holidays. Neighbors described family barbecues, backyard movie nights, and the Millers always showing up for every school fundraiser. They were perfect. The kind of family you want your kids to hang around. I used to say if anyone had life figured out, it was the Millers. But underneath this picture-perfect image, there were tensions building that no one could see. Over time, neighbors started noticing small, unsettling changes. The barbecue stopped. The once cheerful waves became brief nods. Curtains that had always been open were now drawn, even on sunny afternoons. A neighbor recalls knocking on the door one afternoon to drop off baked goods. I heard arguing inside. It was loud, angry, and then suddenly, silence. No one came to the door. That's when I started to worry something was wrong. Delivery drivers noticed Michael sitting in his car late at night, staring straight ahead. Another neighbor said she saw Laura crying in the driveway once, quickly wiping her tears when she realized she was being watched. But no one imagined what was coming. It was a stormy Thursday night when the quiet neighborhood was shattered by a scream. At 9:37 p.m., a neighbor called 911, reporting loud noises, screaming, a crash, and then silence. Police arrived within minutes. When officers approached the house, they could see through a side window that something was very wrong. Furniture was overturned. A lamp was broken. But no one came to the door. They forced entry. Inside the living room, they found Laura Miller lying motionless on the floor, blood pooling beneath her head. Michael sat on the couch, his hands and shirt covered in blood, staring blankly at the wall. Upstairs, officers found Ethan and Grace hiding in a closet, crying, whispering that Daddy hurt Mommy. Michael was immediately taken into custody. At first, police believed this was a domestic dispute that turned deadly in the heat of the moment. But the autopsy told a different story. Laura had been poisoned with a rare compound several hours before the fatal attack. This wasn't a sudden act of rage. It was planned. Detectives searching the home uncovered Laura's journal, where she had been secretly documenting her growing fears. Michael isn't who I thought he was. I found messages on his laptop. Money being moved. If I go to the police, he will hate me. Maybe worse. I'm scared. Investigators discovered encrypted messages on Michael's devices linking him to illegal offshore accounts and large-scale money laundering. Detectives theorized that Laura confronted Michael about his crimes, threatening to expose him. In response, Michael poisoned her to prevent her from going to the police, then struck her when she tried to fight back. This wasn't just about money. This was about control. Michael Miller's perfect world was falling apart, and he would rather destroy it than let anyone else expose him. The trial gripped the entire community. Prosecutors laid out a chilling case of premeditated murder, supported by forensic evidence, financial records, and Laura's own words from her journal. Ethan and Grace gave recorded testimony describing what they heard that night. The poison evidence meant their mother was already dying before the physical attack. The defense tried to argue that Michael had a mental breakdown, but prosecutors emphasized his meticulous planning. After only 4 hours of deliberation, the jury found Michael guilty of first-degree murder and multiple counts of fraud. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. The Miller house became a grim reminder of what happened there. Neighbors placed flowers by the mailbox. A candlelight vigil was held in Laura's memory. Ethan and Grace moved in with relatives in another state, far from a house where their childhood was stolen. I still see their smiles in my head. I just can't believe that inside that house, everything was falling apart. It makes you question how well you really know anyone. The Millers look like the perfect family. But behind closed doors, a storm was brewing, one that ended in tragedy. Laura Miller's courage to speak out cost her everything, but her story serves as a haunting reminder. Appearances can be deceiving. The smiling family next door may not be as perfect as they seem. Fade out on the house, now empty, with a for sale sign swaying in the wind.